Hello, welcome to Melissa's Musing. I am currently in New Jersey, defrosting myself next to the fire at my mom's house because it's like 30 degrees here. And the San Diego in me is freezing. I'm so cold. So thank you guys for joining in. I know it's a little bit of a funky time coming at you from Eastern Standard Time right now. It's my evening, but for most of you that watch me in California, it is just the end of your workday. So I'm going to be diving deep into lessons that I learned from my Starbucks Barista yesterday, and really simple lessons, but it was amazing the awareness that I had as we were conversing and what came up for me through it. Hey Anna, thanks for watching. So good to see you on here. A bunch of people hopped right in. Thanks guys for watching. Michael, Lupe, hey peeps. Love you guys. Thanks for watching. So yeah, I was at Starbucks yesterday for a meeting, and we actually had 2 client meetings back to back. So we met with the first one, it went really well, and right after that meeting, I hadn't had a chance to grab a drink before that meeting started, so right after it finished, I went up to the counter and I started ordering a nice cold green tea. It was nice and warm in San Diego yesterday. And I'm like inching closer to the fire. I'm like, yeah, I'll just get in there with the warmness. So I'm at Starbucks yesterday and I ordered this really delightful green tea, and I started talking to the girl, because one of the things that I am committed to is truly creating a world full of love, connection, and joy. And that means regardless of where I am, where I'm going, what I'm doing, it means that quite literally everybody that comes into my path gets to experience my magic in that area and what I want to see in terms of my vision. So she got to experience all of Melissa's love, joy, and connection. I was giving her, sprinkling my sparkle all over the place, and we were having a fantastic conversation. She complimented my outfit. I went into this whole story about my outfit. It was a hand-me-down skirt. I found a bunch on sale, told her where. She loved it. Basically, we conversed for like 2 minutes and felt like besties. We were having a fantastic time. We were having a good conversation, and it was awesome. And you know, in just that 2 minutes, I could see how our interaction together was lighting her up. It was as if like nobody had talked to her all day. And I don't know if that's the case, of course. I am hoping that quite literally every single customer that came in before me has, gave her an awesome and enjoyable experience. But my interaction with her was so enjoyable. She just loved it. We chatted away. And then when our conversation was done, I looked her in the eyes. I genuinely thanked her for not only my coffee, but I was like, thank you so much for spending some time with me. It was actually really fun to just chat. And I asked her for my receipt. Okay, so I need my receipt for business purposes. So I asked her for my receipt. And then I went out to my next meeting. And when those clients arrived, I brought them inside for their beverage to buy them, their cup of coffee. And my interaction with the barista blew my mind. So I walk in, and right away from the door, I had just left 20-30 minutes prior, she was like, "Hi Melissa," from behind the counter. So I was like, "Hey girl, how's it going?" And we started conversing, and my clients right away, they looked at me and they were like, "Oh, do you come here often?" Because here I am being greeted by name as I walk into the Starbucks, and I was like, "Oh no, actually I just met her recently." Her name was Hannah. So I just met Hannah today, and we were chatting and we were getting to know each other, and she was really awesome and wonderful, and we got along. And so Hannah is just providing my clients with superior service. She fell in love with me, so she's just lighting up my clients. They are just on cloud 9 because for some reason I'm being treated like a queen, and so are they as they get their coffee. This barista is just so in love with me and how I showed up to her that she's now loving all over my clients, and they're in turn loving me because they're receiving this treatment. And so I pay for their coffee. The clients go back waiting outside, and I'm sitting there waiting for their coffee. And she walks up to me and she goes, Melissa. And I was like, "Hey, what's going on?" And she's like, "You forgot to ask me for a receipt this time, and I printed it out for you without you even asking." And I was like, "Oh, thank you. Thank you, Hannah. That was so thoughtful of you." And she gave me the receipt. I wrote the note as to what it was for, and blah, blah, got our coffee and walked out. And as I was driving home, I thought about how differently that interaction could have gone. It was a beautiful 5-minute interaction. I got to know who Hannah was, how her day was, what was going on for her. She got to learn about me. But in doing so, the ripple effect that I caused for her, I saw that creating an experience for my clients. It was amazing to see that ripple that I had given her of that love, joy, and connection that had like come back to me tenfold in being able to see that and experience it from my clients. And then on top of that, the receipt situation was so thoughtful that she had remembered that I had asked her for the receipt prior, and she actually like ran up to me with this newly printed receipt for the coffee that I had just bought for my clients. And on the way home, I was thinking of something that my my coach tells me sometimes, Brad. He says, if you're gonna create a story for yourself, it might as well be a fucking great one. And so often we give ourselves these like worst case scenario stories, right? It's like, oh, I went, like maybe I'll go to Starbucks, but then it will and then it made me late, and then in turn like 20 other things happened and blah, blah. So I was on the way home and I was thinking, if I'm gonna create a story, it might as well be a freaking great one. And I thought of this story. So because Hannah gave me that receipt, who knows, maybe in 2 years, John and I are gonna get audited, and that Starbucks meeting is going to be one of the receipts that's pulled, and I'm gonna have to go back and dig through all of my stuff and realize that the receipt that the IRS needs to verify is actually the one that Hannah gave me. Who knows, it could happen. It could happen. Basically, I went totally wild with a what if situation in a really positive way, and I was like, how interesting, because quite literally something like that could happen. That could be the impact that just saying hi to somebody maybe, would affect. But in the short term, what was really impactful for me and what stood out to me was how much a simple interaction and acknowledging the fact that Hannah was a human being, Hannah was preparing my beverage, I got to interact with Hannah as she did that. Like the fact that I was communicating with Hannah as if she was my friend, not as if she was my barista, clearly made such an impact on her that she in turn was returning that favor. And it was so impactful to me because how often do we do ourselves firstly, how often do we do the people around us a disservice by not showing up to who we fully get to be? And two, how often do we go through life in our own bubble, as if nobody else on the planet exists, as if nobody shares the space with us and we're just navigating, into Starbucks, okay, back to my car, okay, into my next meeting, as if nobody else on the planet exists. So I encourage you guys, if you currently navigate through life in your own little bubble, and that's kind of how you go through things right now, or, you aren't showing up fully, you're playing small maybe, you're shy, you're not outgoing, whatever stories in your head, maybe, you're intimidated by talking to strangers, maybe you were told that strangers were bad growing up, whatever the story is in your head, if you're doing those around you a disservice by not showing up fully present and fully committed to connecting with them, what's in the gap for you? So yeah, that was my little message today, a short and sweet one as I warm my bones and just defrost. Did this get turned off? Did you turn this off? My sister's over here. I think she turned off my heat source. I don't see the flame anymore, you guys. No wonder I had to inch closer. Well, anyways, that's all I've got for you guys tonight. I hope that you are all enjoying the San Diego weather. I will try and stay warm this weekend. Love you guys. Talk to you soon.